Well, what's up, guys? It's Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and I've got the skid steer hooked up to my so fun Ironcraft Beast disc mulcher. This thing, I love this thing. It is so much fun to operate. And I told you guys the other day, we got our neighbor got her all signed up on the EQIP program through the NRCS to remove cedar trees, Osage orange, elm. We're gonna do some of that today. We're gonna go knock down as many cedar trees as we can. It's supposed to rain, it's gonna rain, and I wanna get as much knocked down as I can before that stuff gets here. But I'm not gonna be mulching everything today. I'm actually just gonna be cutting these trees off at the ground. I'm taking cedar trees, leveling them at the ground, and then my buddy that we've been doing some videos with, pig trapping on and stuff, has a dozer. He's going to bring that dozer in and follow in behind me and do a lot of cleanup, a lot of areas that's just, it would take weeks to hit with the disc mulcher and knock all of those out. You know, 10, 12, 15 foot tall eastern red cedar tree can be mulched with this, but it just takes a lot of time. And with that program, we don't have to mulch everything. So we're going to cut them off at the ground and then start piling and stacking because we've got a burn plan for this property. So the dozer's not going to be here today, not going to be here tomorrow because of the rain, but hopefully later this week we'll get the bulldozer out here and start really doing some work. And what he knocks down, when he goes through and knocks things down, piles, I can come back with this or the tree reaper and clean up, because a lot of that little bitty stuff the bulldozer just knocks over and it just stands back up. So I can handle all that and he can handle the big stuff. All right. That is a lot of cedar trees cut in just a few hours. And I'm standing on top of the skid steer so I can get a little better perspective for you guys. But when you're not mulching these trees, you can lay down a lot. And the concept here, the idea here, we want to just cut these off at ground level. Eastern red cedar, juniper tree, will not grow back ever. It will not resprout if you cut it below the bottom limb. Then Lyndall can come in here with his bulldozer and I can use my grapple on my skid steer and we can push and push, and he can make a mountain of cedar trees out in the middle of this property that when we do our control burn, we can burn them up and they'll be safe. And we won't be using the dozer necessarily tearing up the ground and pushing up big root balls and all that stuff. So still a lot to go. This is just one area, but we're laying down a lot of cedar today. All right, y'all, we're bringing in the big guns. I've been cutting cedar trees with the skid steer and that disc mulcher now for 4 or 5 days. And it's time to bring in the big guns. My buddy's pulling in my driveway behind me with his bulldozer. And we're fixing to really do some work cleaning up this property. Told you we weren't playing around on this project. When you get this type of grant money funded, it might as well just hire the right person and get the work done. Yes, I can come out here with the skid steer and do most of what I needed to do, but cutting those cedars off at the ground is going to allow him to be able to just push and pile and push and pile. So you're going to be taking out some big boat arcs, the Osage orange, some big elm trees, a lot of smaller elm trees, but for the most part, he's not going to have to push cedar trees and push those root balls up. So that's going to save hundreds of root balls needing to be filled in. So he's mostly going to be stacking. I haven't got all of the cedar trees cut because there was just a lot of them that were in such a mess, just a big thick mess. I couldn't get to them. But like I said, I've spent days out here prepping for this, and that's going to save a lot of hours of time. So he's a good friend of mine, but I am paying him. Since we're doing this all through a grant and helping a neighbor, that dozer costs $150 an hour for him to run. It's his dozer, and anybody can hire him. That's what he charges, $150 an hour. But having come out here and cut all of those cedar trees, it's going to save us tons of hours of extra work. So now getting him in was a little tricky. We did have to cut the fence, which the fence is probably 40 years old. It's not great. We'll patch it when we get done, but we just don't have a lot of options for access coming in our gate. So anyways, let's watch him work. thing that the NRCS agent told me was when we clear out these cedar trees, they also want to get rid of a lot of these boat arc trees, like I've said multiple times. That's Osage orange, hedge apple, goes by a lot of different names. He said what a lot of people do that don't have, you know, this kind of equipment is they'll take these cedar trees and just stuff them underneath those big boat arc trees. They'll cut and stuff, cut and stuff, cut and stuff. And then when you burn, you got all that fuel underneath that big boat arc tree. And it's enough to kill it and to burn a lot of it up. But I think he disagrees with that plan. He'd rather just push them into a pile, which I get. It makes more sense to the ones we can push down that are not good trees for what we want. The Osage orange, boat arc. It's a better idea to push them down because he can roll them up, pack them into a brush pile with the cedar trees, and then when we do our burn, we can get rid of a lot more of the debris. So you can kind of see our theory here. He's grabbing and pushing all of these loose cedar trees that I cut off after he got the boat arc pile started and stuff. But he's coming back, grabbing all these loose cedar trees. There's a few more boat arcs out here and stuff that I couldn't cut off. So as he pushes, I just come in behind him and grind the stumps down. And it's not perfect, but it saves a lot of time. Like I said, he could dig these stumps out with a dozer, but there's no reason to make a big hole in the ground. So I just come in with the mulcher, mulch the stump, and he is moving some cedar trees right now. We've got a pretty decent area cleaned up already. There's a lot more to go. You missed one. You missed two. Oh, I love it, man. This gets me excited. This place is going to look so much better. And the way we're doing this, it's minimal disturbance on the soil. You can see some tracks and stuff in here. But look over there by where the dozer is right now. And that was an area that was completely shaded out. There's no grass growing whatsoever. But for the most part, we're really not disturbing the soil too bad. I think cutting these cedar trees off at the ground with the disc mulcher and then pushing and piling and stacking, I mean, this is going to be nice. what a difference just a couple hours can make. We called it quits for the day. Lyndall had to go on home, but we put in about 3 hours, and teaming up with that dozer and the skid steer with that disc mulcher on the front of it, man, it is fast work. Now there's still a lot of stuff that takes some time that he's pushing, but when we get in these areas where I have all the cedar trees and the small boat arcs and small trees cut, and he's just pushing and rolling and going, man, a lot of this project is going to happen really fast, and we're really not disturbing the soil too bad. A lot of the grass is still in good shape, and the rest of this that is bare dirt is going to green up really quick. I mean, today is April 4th, and if we get a little rain on this, it's just going to explode in new green grass quickly. Now, there's no denying this is a big project, and it's going to take a while, but it's not going to take anywhere near the 3-year plan that the NRCS has written for us. As long as we keep this dozer here and working, the NRCS plan is broken up into 2024 sections of work, 2025 sections of work, and a prescribed fire in 2026. But I think I have most of the 2024 work already done as far as the cedars cut in the moderately covered areas, but we're gonna have to take a day, probably maybe half a day next week, and just push and pile all those cedars up, and the 2024 part will be completed. We can get paid for that, and then I can pay Lyndall and then we can start on the 2025, which technically we already have because we're in some heavy cover areas here, but the 2025 area it's going to take us a few weeks probably. As long as him and I can stay hooked up, working together with these two machines, it's going to go fast. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's not super exciting like catching 17 wild hogs in a trap, but it's exciting to me, and I love this stuff, and it's awesome that we're able to help out a neighbor that's not able. There's no way she'd be able to do this herself, and I'm having a lot of fun. He's having a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So, guys, remember, do something today to make somebody smile, because you never know, it just might change the world. So, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys have a great day, and as always, we'll see you on the next video.